From Hawaii News Now, this is breaking news.
Right now at 10, as search and rescues continue in Lahaina, we hear from survivors who escaped the inferno.
And it was like we got hit like an air fryer. It was like 140, 150 degree wind that was just hitting us. And at that moment, I was like, we need to leave right now.
Tonight, authorities are working to secure the town, while thousands of stunned visitors are forced to leave West Maui.
All the artwork there, all the old buildings, the history there, and now that's gone.
Now the governor is on his way back from a vacation cut short, working to get federal funding.
I've been in contact with the White House, and they will be providing very significant resources for our state.
Meantime, as Hawaii mourns the loss of this beloved town, there's already talk of a new beginning.
How do we come together and be able to work as a kaiaulu?
I'll be one of the many that will be at the forefront of this rebuild.
And the breaking news continues on Maui tonight, where 3 fires continue to burn, and the Coast Guard is asking all mariners to be on the lookout for survivors still in the water off Lahaina.
This new video here shows the wasteland left behind by yesterday's explosive wildfire, and tonight, gruesome new details on the casualties as witnesses report seeing bodies still lying in the streets. Just moments ago, the county announced a new death toll. 36 people are now confirmed to have lost their lives.
That's up from 6 reported this morning. In just the last hour, state leaders spoke about their immediate tasks ahead.
The primary focus is to save lives and then to prevent human suffering and to mitigate great property loss. So that's exactly what the counties were and have been doing.
State leaders say National Guard helicopters helping with the fire battle flew for 13 hours today, dropping 150,000 gallons of water on the flames. They'll stay on the mission in the days ahead, with more than 100 Guard members on Maui and the Big Island. Tomorrow, a disaster team from FEMA will arrive on Maui to take a closer look at the damage in hopes of securing federal funding.
I've been in contact with the White House, and they will be providing very significant resources for our state when the rebuilding time comes. For now, please be loving and supportive of your neighbors if they have needs wherever they are in the state.
Governor Josh Green is expected back in Hawaii in about an hour. He's flying home from a vacation he was on in Boston. He says he plans to survey the damage on Maui tomorrow. The acting governor did flyovers today to see for herself. Green asks that everyone care for one another during this difficult time.
In upcountry, homes were destroyed and residents are still worried about hot spots.
Our Lynn Tuano continues our team coverage live from Maui tonight. What do you know, Lynn?
Ke'ahi and Steph, yeah, that wind kicked up hot spots all day. That left fearful residents on edge. Many of them evacuated late last night and didn't know if they'd return to find anything. Flames hopscotched through the Kula area in upcountry Maui, burning down some homes while sparing the neighbors.
We're using water hoses with a pressure washer to just have more pressure to use water to put out the fire.
Was it helping?
It was helping because, just a regular hose with water dripping out wasn't putting out the fire, so the pressure washer was a big help. Albert
Louie and his sister Monica own the Kula Sandalwood Cafe and Inn. After fighting the fire for hours Tuesday night, they were forced to evacuate by Maui police.
The embers were flying overhead. The building was starting to catch fire, and they insisted that we leave, not in our own car. They put us in the MPD car.
They were taken to a shelter. When they returned Wednesday morning,
we expected ashes, and there is damage in the back. Propane tank is damaged. There are things that we are going to have to address, but the structure is intact and it's solid.
But the threat remains. Community members not threatened by fire rallied to help. Joshua Reeder and Andrew Spears live in Paia, but are making water runs to Kula to attack hotspots along the road.
I just moved from Lahaina, so that's like no-go zone right now, and my old houses are all toast. So just doing whatever we can.
Got a tote full of water and some shovels, and we're just paling out water, throwing it on the smolders, and trying to cover some dirt on top to try and extinguish so it doesn't flare back up.
When you look around at all this, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's obviously super devastating. These are all families' homes with kids and our neighbors, and it's just devastating to see.
On Haleakala Highway, it wasn't just smoke and fire that closed the road. Fallen trees and toppled utility poles kept drivers out. Pukalani residents drove as far as they could to see if their neighborhood was in danger too.
This is just so devastating. It's unbelievable how fast it just came like that in all directions. And at our house, we had down P.E. Holo fire, and then right across from us, what would you say, 200 yards?
About 200 yards.
And it just kept coming. We could hear it. It sounded like it was roaring like a river, like raging like a river.
They are prepared to evacuate if needed. And the winds have calmed significantly. Still breezy out here, but it's calmed significantly since nightfall. Definitely different tonight. Hopefully that is giving firefighters, weary rescue workers, and residents some relief. Reporting on Maui, I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
Lynn, thank you so much. The fire that began yesterday in Kihei is still burning. Today, it threatened homes of the Kaiwahine Affordable Housing Complex. No apparent damage there, but some scary moments. Subdivisions from Lipua Parkway down to Maui Meadows and Ohukai were all evacuated as firefighters tried to keep the flames from spreading to Wailea. And now to new video from the streets of Lahaina. The town is closed. No one except authorities is allowed in.
Many cars were left behind to burn as people fled the area yesterday. Our Chelsea Davis has a look.
I'm standing in front of what's left of King Kamehameha III School here on Front Street. It was established in 1913, and as you can see behind me, it has been completely destroyed by the fire. Nothing left. Everything has burned, from the fence to the roof to the structures. And then when you look this way, this is Front Street. You can see it is completely unrecognizable. Power poles down on the ground, power lines as well. And over to my right is that iconic banyan tree that went up in flames as well. People here tell me this area will never be the same. I took a boat with Maui firefighters out to Lahaina on Wednesday to survey the devastation. There I met Brian Sizemore, who gave me this video. He took this video Tuesday night around 7 p.m. It shows the horror on Front Street, Lahaina Harbor up in flames.
Still get dead bodies in the water floating and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need, you know? Oh my God.
You can see the emotion on born and raised Lahaina resident Kekua Lansford's face and feel his pain. I saw the bodies as well.
This is a nationwide issue at this point. Yeah, we need help, a lot of help. We gotta get people down here. We need funds allocated for fixing our home. We are out here working.
He took me to his home that has burnt to the ground and drove me around Lahaina town, where it was difficult to see historic landmarks gone.
Honestly, I couldn't even figure out what was going on. Half the time I never know where I was, but I just knew that I had choked smoke and I couldn't tell where I was sometimes, and sometimes I could. You know, it's a short road, Front Street. If you guys walk down the street, you see it's completely burnt. And if I saw somebody, I helped them.
Kekua said he left during the fire to take his family to safety, but he came back.
Because I felt like these guys wasn't going to get help. Because I seen so much people walking, and that's what we do in Lahaina. We don't leave people behind, you know? That's just how we roll.
He says Lahaina will rebuild, but they sure need a lot of help. Reporting in Lahaina, Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
Also in Lahaina, just moments before the town was engulfed in flames, Forrest Thomas and Kira Beltran tell us they were on their sailboat anchored off Mala last night when they started seeing the fire grow. They felt a sudden rush of hot air coming from the town. Just as they were about to push off the dock, they say Front Street erupted in flames.
We pushed off the dock, and within 10 minutes, like 5-10 minutes of leaving the dock, Front Street wasn't on fire, and it was like a match. It just lit on fire. It was 40-foot flames shooting off of Front Street. I can't really find the words to describe how bad it was. I've never seen anything like that. It ripped through that town like it was like a blast furnace. It just took down building after building.
Approximately 100 people in the water in Lahaina off of Front Street.
That's what they heard on their radio. The Coast Guard said about 14 people were rescued from the ocean last night. Witnesses told us today it appears others did not make it, and there were bodies waiting to be recovered.
Maui native and former major leaguer Shane Victorino lives in Las Vegas, but told us he is devastated to see what's happened to the place he will always consider home. He and his family, including his father, former Maui Mayor Mike Victorino, are already looking at ways to help the fire victims.
You know, I love my home. I love my place. You know, it gave me everything that I am, and the kid that I am, the adult that I am today. So, you know, I love my home, and I will do anything that I can, you know, to help rebuild that place and to make sure that, you know, Maui will always remain no Kauai.
Victorino says he is now reaching out to potential partners on ways to raise donations for Maui.
Please pray for Maui. The brush fires are really bad here and Lahaina. It's so bad. Blessings and prayers to all of us on Maui. Oh my God.
That concerned voice is Hawaii singer and songwriter Kalani Pe'a. The multi-time Grammy winner and Baldwin High School grad took this video from his home in Wailuku last night. He could see flames burning along the horizon miles away in Kihei.
What we see now is what we see in the movies. And we never knew how this ahi, this fire, would take over. And I would never ever think of using the word ravage.
Pe'a says he and other musicians, including Napua Gregg and Ikaika Blackburn, are starting to organize a benefit concert and telethon to raise money for those impacted.
And there is a little bit of good news from the Valley Isle. After frantic hours of searching for family members and pleading for help live during our newscast last night at 10, we are happy to report that Maui resident Tiare Lawrence has been reunited with her loved ones. They had lost contact amid the chaos last night and were unable to contact one another, a problem thousands are dealing with now with power and cell phone outages.
Everyone's homeless today. Everyone's homeless. Thousands of people are homeless today. I'm so relieved because I found out recently that my sister was safe, my brother is safe with his children, my stepdad was found. I had 2 uncles that were missing that were recently found. So I'm just, you know, huge sigh of relief. And
we know so many of our viewers are still trying to get a hold of loved ones. The Red Cross can help. Call the number that you see on the screen, 1-800-RED-CROSS.
And after 36 hours of brutal winds, the winds are starting to come down. In fact, we no longer have a red flag warning up. We do have a small craft advisory for all of our coastal waters. The winds are slowing down Thursday into Friday to back to speeds coming out of northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. But this is what we were contending with yesterday, 82 miles per hour on Hawaii Island. That's where the peak gusts were, about 67 over Kula. And then notice Lahaina, about 60 miles per hour, and it was relentless with those gusty conditions all the way with that smoke plume that made its way towards Lanai. The winds there 45 and 48 within the last couple of hours. And you can see 82 over the Ko'olau Mountains, 50 over where the airport is located. But we are going to be starting to see these winds come down, so no longer seeing those reports. And yesterday, those embers carried 1 mile per minute, which is incredible. So good news, we're going to be seeing big improvements.
Thank you, Jen. Just ahead, which one of yesterday's brush fires is now under criminal investigation?
It's been a super intense couple of days.
Many weary evacuees have no homes to return to, and visitors have no hotels to stay at. What's their plan B?
Plus, loading up supplies. Volunteers are stepping up in this time of need, but the Red Cross could use more. Next at 10.
From Hawaii News Now, this is breaking news.
Amid the brush fires across the state, Hawaii County Police have opened an arson investigation. Police say one of two blazes that sparked in Ka'u this morning was suspicious. Officers found an incendiary device near a quarter-acre scorched on the west side of Mill Camp Road. Police are now looking for a man driving a green ATV. The brush fires in Kohala and near Mauna Kea Resort Villages are believed to be unrelated and are now contained. All evacuation orders and road closures have been lifted. Happening now, thousands of visitors are being evacuated from Maui to Oahu.
As our Ben Gutierrez reports, many are now in Waikiki trying to figure out their next steps.
Officials and volunteers started staffing the convention center, preparing for the possibility of hundreds of tourists who had been stranded in West Maui while the wildfires raged in the Lahaina area.
We were supposed to leave Tuesday night to fly home. That was our original plan, and when the fire hit and they closed the roads in both directions from Kapalua, we just hunkered down and stayed one more night.
We need to start thinking and having a backup plan as to how can we get out of here, how can we get off, how can we just, remove ourselves from the situation.
Robert Avon and his wife were staying at a timeshare in Ka'anapali. They got stranded in Wailea for 5 hours. They ended up spending the night in their car in the Walmart parking lot.
The parking lot was about 75% full of people like us that were displaced either from as a tourist, as well as people who had to evacuate, as well as some people lost their homes that we had met, unfortunately.
Others say they arrived on Maui after the flames started, and they couldn't even get to their hotel in the Ka'anapali area.
Super excited, and then we started seeing all this fire, black cloud coming towards the whole freeway. It was scary.
Sylvia Resendez was one of the hundreds who were arriving in Honolulu after having their Maui trips cut short. The two major airlines flying inter-island, Hawaiian and Southwest, cut their starting fares from Kahului to Honolulu to $19.
And in situations like this where we've got a natural disaster, one of the first things we do is make sure we go and put a cap on pricing.
However, many travelers were unaware of the fare cuts, and there's no word on whether they'll get refunds. The DOT says there are still more waiting to leave Kahului.
We're going to have another capacity of another 2,000 or so seats available for the about 1,500 passengers that we expect to want to leave the islands tomorrow. So we'll have the capacity.
Many were able to find hotel rooms on Oahu, but their thoughts are still with the residents on Maui.
It's just saddening to see all these people lose so much in just one day.
Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
A disaster team from FEMA is on the way, and the Hawaii Red Cross is looking for hundreds of volunteers to help with outreach efforts and staff the 5 emergency shelters open in Maui County. If you're interested in volunteering, look for a link on hawaiinewsnow.com and stay with us for your first alert weather forecast after a short break.
Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Robbins.
Here's some good news as we head into Thursday. The only alert up now is a small craft advisory. We're transitioning to much slower trade winds across the state, and we're seeing the winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour into the night, at times 20 miles per hour. Also a welcome sight, some rain coming into the picture as we head into the nighttime hours. We are going to be seeing some rain on Hawaii Island. You can see along Hilo through Volcano, and where the fires are, we have been seeing just a few showers earlier trickle in, and then you can see most of the showers are over windward Maui, and we are seeing a few quickly moving through with misty conditions, really light rain that's coming through, but that's a welcome sight over the West Maui Mountains and Molokai. And we are going to be seeing some of these showers continue to pick up during the nighttime hours, which is a welcome sight, as you know. As we go down the island chain, earlier we saw that plume of smoke, and no longer seeing that on the return there, but the echo returns have been showing smoke from the fires within the last 12 to even 24 hours. Now we're starting to see that lifted and a few showers over the Garden Isle into the night. So limited rain tonight, but we will be seeing a few splashes windward and Mauka, so that will help us out. And also Dora continues to pull away from the islands. That area of high pressure is backing down as well, but it's incredible to see how far this system has traveled, and it's a long voyage over the Pacific, more than 4,000 miles, and it's still going the distance, and it's actually going towards the international date line as a hurricane. We haven't seen something like this for quite some time, so this one for the history books as well, but it will be backing down. We do have a chance of some activity going on over the eastern Pacific, a 70% chance that we're watching very carefully, and into the next 7 days, some relief on the way with the trade winds backing down.
Thank you, Jen. Also ahead, as the fires continue on Maui, a call out for help with lost or injured animals.
And an outpouring of aloha for Maui evacuees.
Donations are pouring in for Maui wildfire survivors,
including an overwhelming show of aloha this afternoon in Kahului.
This is what it's all about, guys. Community coming together, stocking up on water, stocking up on food supplies.
Loads of food, bottled water, and other items were donated to Sparky's Food Company. They were able to cook and serve more than 1,500 meals to evacuees, first responders, and families today, thanks to all of those donations from the community. They say they'll do it all again tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m.
Hundreds of pets are also impacted by the fires. This dog suffered severe burns, but is now in stable condition. The Maui Humane Society is asking anyone that can help to offer emergency foster homes and donations for surgeries and supplies. You can also join the Fire Pets Help Group, which connects owners with the shelter. For information, head to mauihumanesociety.org.
There's been an outpouring of aloha, but watch out for scams. If you'd like to help, GoFundMe has compiled a list of verified fundraisers. Look for that link at hawaiinewsnow.com.
And finally tonight, we've been saying the Lahaina fire is the worst natural disaster since Hurricane Iniki. And that's true as far as property damage. But now that we know 36 lives have been lost, it appears this is the deadliest day in Hawaii since the 1960 Hilo tsunami, which killed 61.
We want to extend our deepest condolences to all of the families affected. And remember, despite the chaos, we are seeing signs of courage and hope. To everyone on Maui, our thoughts are with you.
With the Hawaii News Now mobile app, breaking news is in the palm of your hand. Sponsored by Rosenberg McKay Hoffman, attorneys at law.